welcome back to a new edition of the Gaming Pulpit on my new, how can I put it? My new rebranding of my channel, which is called All Things Sony. So I figured I should touch up on this. So basically, I was streaming video games on this channel, and it became just like way too like just crowded with streams, and it just lost focus. So I decided to basically, everyone knows I'm a fanboy of Sony. Might as well just complete the look and just basically, you know, just go all the way. So I will be talking about the Gaming Pulpit will still be on there, but then there's going to be another thing called All Things Sony, which I'll be talking about Sony, either Sony's products such as phones or speakers or anything of that nature, movies, music, all of that stuff. But let's get into it. This is not about that. Okay, what this is about is 4 stories. So I want to talk about a little bit about Death Stranding, since I haven't really gone into detail with that one so far. I also want to talk about The Last of Us. We're going to talk about a new Socom game, believe it or not. And I think it's coming true. I've had an episode on the Gaming Pulpit, which I kind of, it was like a wish of mine. I really kind of wished this would happen, and it's looking more and more likely. And lastly, Microsoft we're going to be talking about. So let's get into this right away. So let's talk about Death Stranding at first. So there's been circulation, just news and just talk about Death Stranding being like a walking simulator again. If you believe that is true, I implore you to see the trailers. What was it, about like 6 months ago, 5 months ago, whichever it was. It was the one before all the gaming conference. That trailer was before that. So I don't understand it. I mean, I know that wasn't a really good showing from Kojima and Kojima Productions, and even Sony for the matter. They really should market their game a little better. But the real meat and potatoes of Death Stranding will be shown at TGS, not at Gamescom. That's not where it was supposed to be shown. I mean, to be honest with you, Gamescom was real dry anyway. So, I mean, it's just, I guess that's not the place for you to show stuff like that. But going on to it, supposedly you're able to play your game in first person. I don't know how long you're able to, but you're able to switch between perspectives. This is according to Kojima. He says that you can enjoy the first person perspective within the game. Additionally, other news as well with this game is that that trailer where he was actually, he used the ladder and he climbed up and you saw Jeff Keighley. That particular trailer is about like 7 minutes. King Thrash Gaming and the Roundtable Podcast, shout out to them. To be honest with you, that looks like a multiplayer trailer, or at least the asymmetrical multiplayer trailer. That's why the gameplay kind of looked a little jarring. It was kind of like how that multiplayer is going to tie into. And if you can like pause and look at the different menus, you will see a lot of little pieces of information there. Such as, let me see if I can find it. I know they had like measurements and levels of your boots. Apparently you can wear it on your boots, because I guess you're gonna be doing a lot of walking. Your uniform gets worn now, which that was very interesting. Obviously the baby has its own specific stats. You can look at the trailers for that one. You can pause it and take a look at that. But yeah, and I found it too. So they have something called lost cargo for deliveries and return lost cargoes and character figures, and they said something about like predicted likes. So I guess you're going to be communicating with people through menu systems. Think Drive Club, something of that nature. I don't know if you ever played Drive Club, but Drive Club, if you weren't competitively going at it with people, you were able to kind of beat their scores in Ghost and stuff like that. But yeah, that trailer seems to be like a multiplayer game. It seems to be the multiplayer piece of that game. And like I said before, if you look at that trailer, you can see like your stats for your character, such as your boots, such as just your uniform, the babies or BB, the bridge baby, and its well-being and things of that nature. So check that out. We're going to move on to, let's see what other subjects we're going to talk about. We've already got Death Stranding out the way. I know I'm just kind of like going through this as fast as I can because I wanted these videos to be 10 minutes. The Last of Us. The Last of Us was actually shown to a manager or just a conference at GameStop. So apparently they're still a thing, which is like completely shocking. They live apparently. So I guess they have a purpose. I'll put it that way. But anyway, it was shown, and here's what people have to say about it. Erica, and in the Game Fort, I'm not sure who these people are, but you can like find them out by searching them up on Twitter. He says, all I can say is that the gameplay was about stealth, and that you can use the clickers to your advantage. It was very short, but a great vertical slice of gameplay. Now, that was one of the complaints about the PS3 version, is that it was either the humans or it was either the clickers, and that you could never intermingle them together. But they addressed this when they made Left Behind. So since you're going to have, I guess, groups of people, or kind of like the Marauders or whatever you want to call them, this is my take on it. You'll be able to throw things and distract them, and have the zombies attack your people. You know what I mean? They have something like this with what is it? Days Gone, and it was very that type of gameplay was very fun because it made it very random, which was pretty cool. But yeah, look for their tweets, and just type in Death Stranding, not Death Stranding, the Last of Us snippet. Google it actually, The Last of Us GameSpot snippet, and you'll see that there. But it looks like the zombies and just human open groups, you're able to find them out too, which is pretty cool. On next subject here, this is something that I spoke about before, which was like, fuck yeah. Guerrilla Games, responsible for Horizon and the Killzone series, it seems that Colin Moriarty, I don't know how to pronounce his fucking last name, has kind of leaked some things, and he's been in the industry and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. He states that he heard about a new Socom game, and that someone asked about Guerrilla Games, and it seems that Guerrilla Games is apparently working on it. Now, don't forget that Guerrilla Games hired some people from Rainbow Six for multiplayer, and we don't know exactly what it is, but I feel like since Zipper Interactive doesn't exist, this will be perfect for them to do. If you really look at it, they are very experienced, but just shooting and just the aspect of tactical gameplay, this will be perfect. The Socom series, I feel like, has a lot of potential, especially in this day and age. And I feel like they're doing the service of this game well. I feel like it's a really good. You give Killzone a rest, let them rest, see what they could do with Socom. They're really good with multiplayer, and that way I don't think they're going to have to really be so tied with the storyline and stuff like that, because the Socom games had like a light story, but it was never that great back in the PS2 days. So look out for that news. I'm not sure when they're going to release that, but I guarantee you it's probably going to be around the release of the news of the PS5. And last but not least, apparently after the acquisition of Insomniac from Sony, Microsoft has basically went on record to say that they're not acquiring any studios for the foreseeable future. But then, they say in the interview, Microsoft Aaron Greenberg discussed a lot of current state of Xbox studios. And they say that I've been excited, and it's been great knowing all of the teams, going out and sitting with Team Ninja or the team at Obsidian and seeing their stuff. But it seems like they are not really feeling it. But there was a correction with the particular tweet. They say, this is regarding, what did they say? So I'll put it this way. I know the video is kind of running a little longer than what I wanted it, but that's okay. We can fix that. So essentially, this was in response to the Insomniac acquisition, and they basically was like that. He was like, "That's not what I said. That headline has nothing to do with what I said." Basically, what I was saying is that we are not responding to what Sony has done, which essentially means that they're not going to acquire any studios or any large studios. So you can take that with a grain of salt. But anyway, that's all my news. I'm sorry for rushing the video out. Let me know what you feel about, or how you feel about the direction of my channel. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in my next video. I think the next video is going to be about some kind of Sony hardware. But anyway, deuces, peace out.